Hello everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today as I do a flip through of my bullet journal for 2023. I do actually have a setup video that is already up on my channel, which I will link below. It's a little long though, it's over half an hour long, so I thought that potentially there will be people that will not want to watch 40 minutes worth of my flip through and setup and everything, so I thought I'd just do a flip through to begin with. So the journal that we're talking about today is this absolutely stunning journal from Lore and Olive. It is linen covered, which I like, but as you can see, it picks up dirt and dust and everything, and I am not super good at keeping things really pristine, so that's a bit of a shame. But it is absolutely stunning. I love this beautiful pattern here. I love the bookmarks with the ampersand, and I just think it's stunning. It's 192 pages long, and the page thickness is 160 GSM. I don't actually know what that means, but apparently it's very thick, which, you know, it is. Anyhow, so I'm going to do a flip through. This is of my full year spreads and then also my January spreads. So the first page is just the name page, and I didn't do anything particularly fancy with it. So I was inspired for the yearly spreads by this pack that I got from Lore and Olive. So I think I ordered the June monthly pack. It was called Hug in a Cup, so it has all these absolutely beautiful little things to do with the tea and making tea, and it included this lovely Dutch door, which I've used as my first setup spread, my title page spread. I just think this is beautiful. I love the colours, and I just think it's really fun and summery, which obviously what it was intended, given that it's June. Lore and Olive are from the United States, but of course I'm from Australia, and currently it is summer here, so that's why I've gone with this spread. Plus I think that, like I said, it's tea, so it's summery colours, but it's still tea, so it still kind of works for the whole year. I love tea, I love everything that goes with the tea and these colours and everything, so I think it's just beautiful. I also decided to do my bookshelfy page over here next to the title page because, well, there's no real reason, it's just what I decided to do. Of course I have to have a cat in a bookcase because, you know, that's where cats go. And then we've got one of the little tea cups from the set, and this is going to be my Goodreads goal. So there are 80 book spines in here, and as I go through I will colour them in as I read them. I set my Goodreads goal at 80 because that's what it was at this year, and I reached it, so I decided that that's what I wanted to do for 2023 as well. But I talk more about that in my goals video, which will have gone up by the time this has gone up, so I'll link it below as well. But yeah, I'll colour that in. I don't have any specific way I'm going to colour it in. So the title page, as you can see, you've got 2023, and then we flip the little Dutch door open and it says Bookish Journal, because this is going to be all things bookish. So it's going to include all of my reading, it's going to include everything to do with the channel because it's a bookish channel, it's going to include writing, and it's going to include just a little bit of stuff to do with my last to read book club, which is the book club I run with Ellie and Lana. So that's why it's a bookish journal. I decided not to do any teaching in here, partly because I'm not really sure what I'm doing with that at the moment, but also because it didn't really work as anything last year. I didn't use it, and I decided not to do weekly spreads. I just wasn't using that, so you'll see what I've done instead. Yeah, that's the title page, and then we have this quote by Stephen King, which I really like. Books are a uniquely portable magic, which I feel is accurate. So that's the title page. Then we come over into the future log. It's basically just a calendar, because the idea of a bullet journal is you do it as you go. So you don't have every month set out with the calendar and everything. So this is a way to keep track throughout the year. I won't, as I said, be doing weekly spreads because it just doesn't work for me. My partner and I use our own little post-it note calendar system on the fridge, and I use my calendar in my phone to put in all my appointments and everything. I don't carry the journal with me for starters, and I was just coming back and putting them in after they were done, which seemed kind of pointless. So this is my future log, and again we're using these little stickers from the Hug in a Cup. This is from a Etsy store called Mum and Me Designs. It's an Australian Etsy store, and this is from the, I think it's called Fully Booked Planner Set. Thought this worked really well with the rest of the colours. This washi tape is from Officeworks, and I thought they all worked together. The colours really went with everything, so that's why I'm using this mix and match of different things. As you can see, I haven't filled the future log in as of yet, but at some point I'll do that. And then we have goals, which again I haven't actually written in yet, but we have bookish goals. So we have YouTube, writing, last to read, and reading. Then we're using, again, this is from Hug in a Cup, and I think this is just beautiful. I love this washi tape. And then this paper set that I bought from Officeworks here in Australia as well. And we have 2 pages to do with hauling books. So this one is 1 in 5. I did this for a little while at the end of last year and at the beginning of this year, then kind of dropped off, but I've decided to bring it back in, at least for the first bit of 2023. For every 5th book that I read from my owned TBR, so it could be on audiobook, it could be on ebook, or it could be physical. As long as I own it, I can count it, so I will tally them up here in the books read column, and then for every 5th book that I read that I own, I can buy 1 book. So that's where I'll write down, once I get to 5, I'll write down what I haul. But then I do have another side for haul, because I'm not going to include books that I know that I'll read immediately. So the whole idea of this is not to collect books and then just have them sit on my shelves for a year, 2 years before I get to them, but rather to be a bit more purposeful with what I'm purchasing and yet not have them sit on my shelves. However, there are some books that I will read immediately, so if it's for book club, a read along or something like that, they don't count, so I can buy them. And then obviously I get bookish gifts on occasion, so that's for that as well. So then we have what, who, and when. So what the book is, who sent it to me, and what, when, or what it was for. And this shiny tape is from Officeworks as well, and I think it's really pretty, so I used it. And then we have the favourite books of 2023 spread. So what I've decided to do here is I have put in these little like frames where I will stick in my favourite books, and I have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 for each month, but then I have an extra 3 because I found throughout this year that sometimes I would have technically a book that was higher rated according to Corpile, but another book that was equally high rated but maybe slightly lower on Corpile, so it would get 4.5 stars for example, but 8.29 instead of 8.59, but I just couldn't stop thinking about it, so I wanted to have an extra. So I'll just see how I go throughout the year, but this is what I've set up. And then rather than doing a worst of, because I'm doing pretty well picking books that I'm enjoying, I mean some books I'm liking okay and other books I'm loving, but I'm not having mostly 2 and 1 stars, and that's mostly because I'm DNFing those books. So this is going to be all the books I DNF. Did have a little bit of an accident with the stamping with the ink, so that's what the liquid paper is all about. Then we come to favourite quotes. So I want to try a little bit more this year at recording some quotes, which means I'm going to have to be a bit more up for tabbing, but I just wanted to have favourite quotes in there. This is probably one of my favourite spreads throughout these early spreads. I think it's just stunning. Love this paper. This is from Officeworks as well in that pack. And then we have 2023 anticipated releases. So another thing I'm trying to do this year is to have some more anticipated releases. I haven't ever done an anticipated releases list or anything like that in the past for the next year, because that's not how I approached books previously, but I want to do that this year. I just think it would be fun. I won't necessarily buy them all, but just to keep track of what's coming out and what I'm interested in. So that's that. This is my last to read book club. So this I have filled in. This is what we are going to be reading up until June. So we have the month, we have the book. We haven't figured out the live show yet, but that should come soon. And I wanted to have its own page so I could keep track of all of that. And then over here we have book clubs and buddy reads, so any other book clubs that isn't my book club, and then the buddy reads that I do, and these stickers again for Mum and Me Designs. And then I realized after I'd done everything that I didn't have a self-destruct section, so this is just a little flip out bit here that I've created, which is for books that will self-destruct. So I always do one of those every year, and the idea is you have to read the books that are in your list within the 12 months from when the video goes up, and if you don't, then you have to unhaul them. I mean, you can still unhaul them if you read them and don't like them, but if you don't read them, you have to unhaul them, so that's what that's for. Alright, and then we're coming to video things, so to do with the channel, and these are all my different video ideas. Very simple little spread, but I really like the way that's working out in the middle. I think it looks really pretty. And then this page, I tried something a little bit different. A lot of bullet journal channels that I've been watching do kind of layered with stickers and washi tape and different things, so I tried to do that here. I'm not sure it worked super well. I think if it didn't have this section here, I might like it a bit more, but anyway, that's what I was doing. I probably should have actually made last red pink because that's our colour, but anyway. So this is all the tags that I get tagged in or that I think look fun. So I already have one here, there are 10, but I was tagged by Victoria from What Victoria Read, and then I have the original creators, and this one is Coiny Reads Books. So this is just to keep track of anything I'm tagged in so that I remember to do them. And then I have my YouTube stats page, and I'm just going to record my stats throughout the year in each quarter. And what I've done here is I've just gone for January 1st, so how many subs I have on January 1st, my watch hours were on January 1st, and my views on January 1st, and just to kind of see how I grow. Then this red unfortunately went through the page. Now these pages it also happened over here a little bit as well. These are 160 GSM, like I said, they're very thick, which tells me that it's not Archer and Olive, it's what I'm using. I'm using El Cheapo brush pens and highlighters. I didn't want to spend a huge amount of money on really fancy acrylograph pens or Tombos or anything like that because I didn't know if I'd like bullet journaling when I started last year. So unfortunately I went through a bit. If you know of any much cheaper but still good that won't go through, similar to Tombow or acrylographs, please let me know. I'm in Australia, so if you're Australian, you know of anything. I have had one person tell me about a particular brand that they use, so I'll definitely be looking into that. But yeah, just some ideas would be good. Anyway, because of that, I didn't want it to come through on the next page, so I just did this little spread here, which is basically just cutting out some images from colouring in books and sticking them in. I just think they look really cute, and then I can use them as colouring in, which hopefully is something I can do, which I do enjoy, but I might do it more likely to actually do it if it's in my journal. That's my theory anyway. And then this is another sticker from the Hug in a Cup, and it says "You are Tea-rific," which I just think is super cute. Alright, and then we have writing. So I just have very simple spreads for writing, just the 2 story ideas, and currently working on just to keep track of if I have lots of ideas that I want to write, and then also, you know, if I'm writing more than one thing at once, I can keep track of that. I wanted to keep all my book stuff, all the reading stuff, and then the channel stuff, and then the writing stuff, I want to keep it all separate, but it didn't quite work out because there were a couple of things I forgot. So we have NetGalley. I joined NetGalley for the first time this year. I'm very excited about it, and I have already been approved for one arc, which is The Hotel Witch by Jessica Miller, and I have the date and comes out, which is 28th of the 2nd, 2023, and then I just want to keep track of whether or not making sure I review things. So I think I like this. NetGalley's logo is green, so that's why I've gone with green. And then we have a spread for First Nation Australian authors I want to try. So I have been trying to read more Australian Aboriginal or First Nation authors. I want to expand on that and read some more, so that's why I thought I'd make a spread for it. And of course the Indigenous flag features black, yellow and red, so that's what that's about. And then I have this extra page in case there's anything else I forgot or I needed space for anything else, and then I have my yearly stats, which I will do at the end of the year. But yeah, that's that spread for that one. So that was all the yearly spreads. So now we're moving into January's spreads. I feel like the Hug in a Cup was quite summary, as I said, so I wanted to continue with that theme. But I actually wanted to showcase some more Australian summary things. So I've gone and actually purchased a bunch of different stickers and washi tape from a few different stores on Etsy, which will be linked below, featuring more kind of Australian fauna and flora, even Australian plants and flowers, basically. So they have the wattle here, And then Eucalyptus, only this washi tape, and then it's quite a few different, so I've got wattle and a few different things in this green and gold one here. And then it just says January. I really like this cover page. I think it's really pretty, very simple, but I think it's just nice. And then this is my reflections for the month. I just wanted to have a space where I could write how I'd been feeling for the month, what happened in the month, what I was focusing on, all that sort of stuff. Bit of a kind of just general brain dump for the month. So that's what that is. I did put a little quote in at the top, and it says, "It's no use going back to yesterday because I was a different person then," by Lewis Carroll. That's from Alice in Wonderland. And I just think that is a lovely reminder of, like, yeah, you may have done some stupid things yesterday, but you're a different person today. So there's no point in dwelling on it, which I definitely need reminders of. And then the next page, we have the month at a glance. And then we have 2 habit trackers for reading and for writing. So that's just me wanting to keep track of what days I'm reading on and then what days I'm writing on. They're very simple and straightforward. I do have my to-do list. These are probably too big. I probably should have put all 4 on this one page, especially given they're different sizes, but I didn't. It didn't work out that way. That's okay. But yeah, so we have this lovely pink to match there. This is a gum. It's a eucalypt flower. And I think they're just beautiful. And then we have a waratah. And then I love this washi as well with all the gum nuts and the wattle and the waratah and the pine, the seed pods, and just, yeah, I think that's beautiful as well. So we have 3 for the first 3 weeks, and then we have this 3rd week there. So they're just slightly longer because it's 1st to 8th, but yeah, that works out well. And then we have my monthly stats. Again, we have the waratah and the eucalypt. And the monthly stats that I want to try and keep track of this month, we'll see how we go. The books read, pages read, hours written, words written, average rating for each book. Then we have a breakdown for star ratings, how many 1 star, how many 2, etc. Genre, what genres I read. Categories, so were they middle grade, YA, etc. And then over here, how many physical books, how many ebooks, how many audiobooks. And then I changed my mind about all the stuff here, so that's why there's so much liquid paper. But how many LGBTQIA plus books, how many BIPOC authors did I read from, Australian Indigenous authors, how many did I read from, how many books were translated into English, how many ARCs did I read, how many books were published in 2023, how many subscribers did I have in the 1st, how many subscribers did I have in the 31st, how many watch hours in the 1st, and how many watch hours on the 31st. So that's just all the monthly stats I intend to keep track of, but we'll see how we go. And then we have my video schedule, so this just says videos, and then it's very simple, straightforward, nothing particularly exciting. That's lovely washi tape again. So we have the date for each vid, when it will need to go up, what the video is, have I filmed it, have I edited it, have I uploaded it, and how many views did it get. And then we have my TBR campaign. So this is my TBR game that I play every single month based on Dungeons & Dragons. I will link it down below. I had to cut a page out because I made a total error with what I would have writing the TBR campaign, but anyway, it's here there now. And then this page is all about my readathons. So the readathons I'm going in January are Who Dunnit Readathon. So this is based on Clue or Cluedo, and there are 3 hosts, and they are 3 different booktubers who have TBR games that are based on Clue or Cluedo. So you read books and they help you get different, you can fill out this clue sheet and go through. There were videos up on their different channels with information once you've read something for Colonel Mustard and so on. So that's that one. And then Bethany from Beautifully Bookish Bethany is doing a Get Shit Done. So it's her Patreon readathon for the month of January. And so these are the prompts for that. It's a bingo board. So we have group book, which is actually Daughter of the Moon Goddess, which we've already read, but that's okay. Then a pre-order, 2023 ARC or new book for 2023, a classic, free space, oldest on the TBR, a gift, finish or continue a series, and then 2022 book club pick. So that's Bethany's book club with her Patreon. It will depend how this game goes as to how I fill all that in, but I wanted it to go in the journal. And then we have book clubs and read-alongs that I need to read in January. So we have my last to read book club, which is The Fae Keeper, the Bargainer read-along, which Ellie is running, so it's book 1, which is Rhapsodic, Percy Jackson read-along, Percy Jackson, I just put Percy Jackson 1, it's Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan. So that is a read-along hosted by Pris from Pris Peruses, and then 1,000 Ships, which is a buddy read that I'm doing with Paige. And then my friend Michelle and I organised buddy read. Sorry, I'm just standing up so I can write down a new, I'm going to have to write in pencil. So my friend Michelle and I decided we were going to read Babel in January, and then also I have the read along, the Graceling read along, so I have Sea Sparrow that I need to read as well, which I forgot to write in. So I've got Sea Sparrow, 1,000 Ships, Last to Read, and Babel that I need to read. So whether or not I get to Bargainer and Percy Jackson remains to be seen, but I'd like to do those, but that is a lot of books and it depends on the TBR campaign, but we'll see how we go. And that was the last page that I've done, and then I'll do my book reviews separately. I really love the way that Elizabeth from Plant-Based Bride has done her book reviews. In the past I've had them very structured and had boxes for each one and so on, but I just really like the way it looks in Elizabeth's reading journal. I'm probably going to do half a page for each book, but it just means that I have more space to write how I felt about the books, and you know, if I don't write that much that's fine as well. I'll have more space, but the whole thing is just going to be books. I'll probably put some stickers in, but rather than having all the lines and everything. So yeah, so that is the flip through of the journal so far. Like I said, I just am really enjoying the journaling. I'm really enjoying my spreads. I do wish I'd made this all one page, but that's okay. Next month I'll do that so that I can make sure to have my monthly stats all in one page. I think that would be better. And I love these stickers and the washi tape that I've got here for January. So yeah, that is the flip through of my 2023 journal so far. Let me know if you'd be interested in a setup video for February and or March, or a flip through like I've just done of the setup once it happens. Please let me know all of that down below. Please let me know anything else you'd like to let me know, any comments that you have, any thoughts. That was Peanut saying hello. Yeah, comment all that down below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me, if you can find anything like Wattle or Orator. You probably can't, but if you can, it's something like that. But if you can't, leave me some kind of flower emoji. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.